Zimechukuliwa
January,
December. They said they want to take the test for 1 month. So fingerprints zimetoka jana, wakasema hii mwili iko opposite mortuary ni Justus.
Police gave misleading information that they were on their way to Kitui, but the body was found in the river around Ruai a day after disappearance. So the police did not give the correct information in court.
The police had already discovered a body and were doing investigation, and all along they have denied that they know of the whereabouts of the three. They have no idea, because it's their responsibility and it's the role of the National Police Service to tell Kenyans who have been abducted, have they found them, what their processes they're going through, and if they had found a body, whether they were trying to investigate whether it was the three or not.
With the shock, the discovery of the body of Justus Mutumo, one of the missing Morongo men, he was found dead. The family lawyer, Senior Counsel Dan Manzo, has confirmed the body was discovered in Ruai and moved to City Mortuary in Nairobi. This is, of course, part of the list of people whom IPO was investigating, those who were abducted. And we have now sent our rapid response team to go to the mortuary and find out from more in terms of what has happened in this matter. We are going to brief the public about our own findings.
The Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations Mohammed Amin on Thursday appeared in court in line with a court order requiring them to do so after failing to do so 4 times. The two were required to appear in court to explain the whereabouts of 3 people who were still missing after they were allegedly abducted in Mlolongo. Karani Mwema's whereabouts are still unknown, with growing concern over the circumstances surrounding the trio's disappearances and the deaths of the two.
Issue. I don't want to use that word, because that word does not exist in either in law or in the Constitution. So let's use the language. We are in court. Let's use the language that the law gives us to use. That the language belongs to these people.
Thank you, my lord. I was just mistaken.
So, no. If you want us to use the language they use, we use it, but not here. Because how can I record abduction? Because the law doesn't know anything about that. So restrict yourself to 3 people and not to generality. Those people are missing. So if you want us to go to generalities, then we are not dealing with what has brought us here.
Thank you, my lord, for the directions. I believe that.
And I thought you knew that.
I knew that, my lord.
So why are you taking us the way you are taking us?
My lord, perhaps maybe before the witness is sworn, I seek a clarification from your lordship in the following respect. The orders of habeas corpus were issued explicitly in the names of 2 public and state officers, the first and second respondent. The first and second respondent, my lord, and I believe this is a point that one of my colleagues made earlier on, have the constitutional mandate to carry out investigations. My lord, they have taken to the stand, they have sworn, and they have spoken to the habeas corpus. My lord, the notice of motion before you is spent. The petition is still not for hearing. And the notice of motion was determined by the court issuing the orders of habeas corpus. Perhaps your lordship would be kind enough to perhaps give fresh direction that would then prescribe the manner in which the court is going to proceed. Because in this way, it can be an endless inquiry and it can be a never-ceasing order of habeas corpus.
Let me bring up an interesting fact. Last year, arrested for storming a press briefing by Cabinet Secretary for Health, Deborah Mulongo Baraza. Details have emerged that the Ministry of Health was the complainant in the case. Medical Services Principal Secretary Harry Kimtai was forced to explain about the case to members of Parliament at the parliamentary retreat in Naivasha. Speaker Moses Wetangula had to intervene after the PS was heckled by the legislators who could hear none of it. Female legislators especially took issue with the manner in which Grace Njoki was handled as she was arrested in hospital.
The question that Honorable Ishungwa asked, who is the complainant in regard to the lady who was arrested? Yes. The complainant is the Minister of Health. I am answering the question. Who is the accounting officer? The accounting officer. In the Ministry of Health, we have two accounting officers. One who is here today and another one who is not here today. We are 100 members. I will want to explain here what steps we took. Let me just explain. One, because what happened was our cabinet secretary was issuing a press statement. And then, all of a sudden, we saw some group, we didn't know who they were initially. Wait a minute. Agree. Okay, women.
Those women who stormed into the minister's prison, order. They came there to express frustrations that they were having out there. All your horses. From what I have picked from the video, there was no fracas, nobody was injured. And the ministry to be in a public place, you cannot talk of trespass. Yes. If I were you, in the interest of the image of your ministry and the public, I would withdraw that proposal.
And since the minister is a complainant, we are going to review the case, and if there is need for us we are going to withdraw the case.
Well, that was interesting. Now, the completion of 15,000 grade 9 classrooms is part of the government's efforts to ensure 100% transition to junior secondary school. Additionally, 35.3 billion shillings has been disbursed for school capitation. Speaking at the Moi Forces Academy during the launch of 6 grade 9 classes, Principal Secretary for Education Belio Kipsang emphasized the government's commitment to working with parents and students to ensure a smooth transition to grade 9. Kipsang also acknowledged potential challenges next year given the increase of grade 8 students and ensured more classes will continue to be built.
Almost, I think we've done 15,000 classrooms. We've done 11,000 classrooms, which were done by the Ministry of Education directly. The CDF has done another 4,000 classrooms out of 6,800 that they were supposed to do. The other 2,000 classrooms are still at various stages of development. And also, as I mentioned, we targeted to do 16,000 classrooms between ourselves and the National Government Constituency Development Fund. Made its decision yesterday. We've been told to be able to respond into the case, and the Attorney General's office, together with ourselves, will be able to take the next levels and the next stages. But in no way will this disadvantage our learners, because as you are all aware, we intended to have 2 series of examinations in a year. So in no way will it disadvantage our learners. The only thing is that we are denying the country and our learners an opportunity to be able to get a second chance in the fastest way that was possible.
Maendeleo Chap members of the County Assembly in Machakos County Assembly have told off UDA National Organizing Secretary Vincent Musyoka over his recent remarks suggesting that their party should fold and join UDA to show support for President William Ruto. Led by Minority Leader Judas Mbili Ndawa, the MCAs pointed out that Kawaya is not even a member of the Maendeleo Chap and that if he wants the party to dissolve, then he should switch from UDA to Chap independently to gain the legal capacity to comment on its operations. The Matu Ward member of County Assembly emphasized that Maendeleo Chap is not an atom but a stable party with members, and it is the second largest party in Ukambani after Wiper Party, and he believes it will soon surpass Wiper.
Kuna wale walikuwa wanasema vyama vingine vivunjwa. Sisi kama members wa Maendeleo Chap hatunjawahi uzishwa na hatunjawahi kaa mkutano ya kusema ati chama inaweza kuvunjwa. Na tunasema mwenye yako na hiyo maono, yeye si member wa hii chama. Na akitaka awe na uwezo, yule uwezo wa kisheria ama legal capacity kuongea maneno ya hii chama, tunamwambia atoke ile hako anje join sisi, ndio at least awe na legal capacity ya kuongea maneno ya chama. Tulikuwa nataka tuchukue fursa hii tumshukuru sana our CS Dr. Alfred Mutua kwa kuona umuhimu wa kuita mkutano ya kuleta viongozi mahali pamoja. Juzi tulikuwa na mkutano pale Maanzoni ambaye alikuwa ameita, na ile mambo iliongewa pale yote hakuna kitu ya siasa, ilikuwa maneno ya unity na vile watu wanaweza kwenda kulobi vitu ifanywe katika area yetu. Tunataka tumwambie hiyo mkutano ilikuwa mzuri, pia tulimuona akifanya ingine pale Bomas ya youth. Na tunamuomba kwa heshima asiende polepole, anjikaze, aite mikutano mingi ikiwezekana katika every sub county within the 3 counties ya Ukambani, ndio at least watu wetu wakae mahali pamoja. Kuna msemo ya Kikamba inasema fungwa ambao linjafungwa huwa inatawanywa na rungu moja, lakini kama imefungwa vizuri, hata ukilima na nyundo gani, kila kitu inalimaini kuwa intact.
Kenya is losing 9 women daily to cervical cancer as statistics show over 3,000 die annually due to the disease that has been categorized as the world's second killer disease. Consequently, there are 5,226 new cases of cervical cancer reported yearly in Kenya. Worldwide, 10 million people die as a result of cancer. The Kenyan government says these statistics are too grim, as the Ministry of Health now emphasizes on more screening and early treatment to combat the rising cases that are now robbing the country of productive women.
This country records about 5,226 new cases and 3,211 deaths for cervical cancer annually. Kila mwaka hapa nchini watu 5,236 new cases. Utaenda kwa hospitali, tuko na data, tunaambiwa hawa ndio wamepatwa na kansa, wamepatikana wako na kansa. Na kukufa 3,211. Kila mwaka tunapoteza wapendwa wetu. Cervical cancer in particular is the leading cause of cancer deaths in women and second most prevalent cancer overall. Wanawake wengi sana wale wanakufa kwa sababu ya ugonjwa wa kansa. Mimi mwenyewe dada yangu nimemzika last year kwa sababu ya kansa. Kansa yake ilijulikana kama iko stage 4. Hatunge reverse. Si mimi ndio nimesimamia madaktari. Ningekuwa na uwezo si ningesema daktari wote wakuja wamtibu sababu ni dada yangu. Lakini sasa ilikuwa imefika mahali hata hatungeweza, hata ningempeleka hospitali gani haingeweza kuwa reversed. Kwa sababu labda ingekuwa hapo mwaka wa 2018 akuwe screened, angepatikana labda iko stage 1 CHPs. Tumeagana aje? Tuende kwa manyumbani tuongee na wamama wote na wababa wote. Waende nini? Screening. Na screening hapa county government ya Nyandarua is free.
Na vile vile hata kuko na kansa ya wanaume, ile prostate cancer. Basi Madam PS wenye wametoa ushuhuda hapo wamesikia mambo ya SHA iko na shida, sababu the cost of treating cancer, it becomes a very expensive process, and therefore for us to make clear interventions as a government, a national government, county government, is to ensure that that cost is well, it can be met by the government by this process of the compliance, because SHA is a comprehensive health insurance.
Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Lands and Housing, Alice Wahome, has warned land grabbers targeting public land, mostly in urban areas, to stop because their days are numbered. The CS was speaking right here in Nairobi in South Bay at a groundbreaking of 3 floors modern market targeting several traders, including the ones in Mwiki, Riruta, and other areas. The allocation is 332 million shillings for the project, which will take about a year. The area member of parliament and member of county assembly took issues with the governor of Nairobi County for not working to understand people more, as his county officials are blamed for supporting land grabbers. She urged the community to join her and push land grabbers out of Lavington Primary School next week.
Kama serikali, nikiwa waziri wa hii wizara ya ardhi, niko na jukumu mara mbili, kwa sababu hiyo department ya ardhi ndio itachungia nyinyi na itatafuta atimiliki ya hii kiwanja. Hiyo ingine department ya housing and urban development ndio itajenga soko, na hizo zote ziko chini yangu. Sasa sioni sababu gani hatutamaliza hii kazi, na ninajua wale walikuwa wanamsumbua, ninawaelewa na ninawajua sana. Hata wao waliniuliza niwapatie usaidizi ndio hii plot iwe yao. Nikawaambia hao hiyo biashara hiyo haitawezekana, wasukumane na watu wa South B ambayo wamesema tangu mwanzo karatasi ya reservation ya hii kiwanja iliwekwa ikiwa ni ya market.
Beyond Kenya's borders, at least 27 bodies have been recovered from Potomac River in Washington, D.C. following a mid-air collision between a Black Hawk helicopter and American Airlines flight. The American Airlines flight was carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members, even as officials anticipate that there will be no survivors. It is believed that world champion Russian pair and U.S. skaters were on board the crashed plane. The Army unit that was involved in the collision between the American Airlines plane and Army helicopter has been put on operational pause. Finally, President Paul Kagame has said Rwanda is ready for confrontation as he rejected criticism over his backing for M23 rebels who were pushing south on Thursday in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo after capturing the major city of Goma. M23 rebels, with support from Rwandan troops, marched into Goma this week and are now advancing towards Bukavu, capital of neighboring South Kivu province, in the biggest escalation since 2012 of a decades-old conflict. Rwanda is facing an international backlash over its actions in eastern Congo, where it has repeatedly intervened either directly or through allied militias over the past 30 years in the aftermath of the Rwandan genocide.
The 3 are not Rwandans, please. These are Congolese, and one time he accepts it, then another time he says no, part of it is yes, and then the other part is from Rwanda, and these are the. He keeps on going. And how do we, leaders of our own countries, accept this to go on forever and just accept that we shall be manipulated by Tshisekedi or whoever is supporting him? He's also there pretending to be playing a peacemaker role, and he has a force that has been fighting alongside FDLR and has been fighting the M23 on the instructions of Tshisekedi, because these are people who are not supposed to be in Congo.
Indeed, the situation in DR Congo continues to cause, international concern, not just within the continent of Africa, but across this particular world, even as Rwanda distances itself from, sponsoring or being involved in the particular rising tension. At that point, allow me to wrap it up tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you're up to date with what is making headlines across Kenya tonight. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. I've been in studio with Laura Omondi. Good night.